This is Matrixlord212, and welcome to my 5 years on YouTube making videos. Talking to you guys and doing podcasts and videos. 5 years ago, December 11, 2011. On here was very shy, but now I think I'm a lot more comfortable doing videos. It's an incredible thing to do because I didn't think I was ever going to do any videos. I didn't really want to do videos until like my friends had convinced me otherwise. 5 years and over 4,600 videos. I'm still here. I have been on YouTube since 2007, but I've never done anything like making videos until 2011. Okay, I'd done a lot of books that I had published, and when the YouTube thing happened, it was that much more sweeter to do. I had my love for Doctor Who basically got me started into this, commenting on other people's videos, Doctor Who, and eventually when I started was Doctor Who seasons and stuff and episodes, and of my channel being on the air, got a lot of attention from other people. Old Doc had introduced himself to me and started the Whovians podcast, which I had hosted, and then after a while we had other hosts, and then that kept, expanding more and more. And then people have went on and did their own podcast. And I, too, when the Whovians podcast had disbanded, I had created the Real Whovians cast. So besides podcasts on Doctor Who, I decided to create the Everything Show, because a lot of times, if there was no Doctor Who news, and if we want to talk about movies and comics and things, that's what we could do on the Everything Show. And then we created more podcasts. I mean, the horror cast was actually created before the Real Whovians cast. Realized until afterwards. And then it was like Walking Dead podcasts and Topic Wonders, supposed to be real. And then many different things. I did Morning with Matrixlord segments when I was walking throughout the morning, and Moving with Matrixlord segments, which is not the morning any other time. Sometimes I did midnight shows. Recently I started doing Facebook Live, which I really love. And started doing stuff on Daily Motion. I had to do kind of a spin-off of the Real Whovians cast, where it was the Real Whovians cast Unlimited, where it focused on one member only, a new member or an old member that was a member of my show, Real Whovians cast, that they talked about when they started with Doctor Who. So we did that for Daily Motion. And over the years, and many different people on the show, I've been very grateful to everyone for appearing and making these podcasts and I call them casts, what they are. Many different people from many different races, many different religions, many different beliefs, many different cultures, all parts of the world do the shows, and they have fun. And that's what it's about. It's about having fun on here. I do videos. I used to do single videos when I started, and then I did podcasts, and then after a while, podcast was all that you saw. And at some point in time, it bothered my original subscribers, because they wanted to see me do, like, say, the news like I did and get out in like 5 minutes, like just do a story on a movie coming out or trailer or whatever, or rumored movies. Started going back into that a little bit. But ultimately, the podcasts take up most of my time with the YouTube channel. Now, I'm also going to go with the coming year, coming in 2017. I'm going to try to do more motivational videos like I did, and I'm going to try to do more videos based on my books, because I always tried to keep it separate, and have its own existence, not connected to the channel. So I never really promote them that much, but maybe I should, just to showcase them and, you know, let them stand out on the channel. I'm very proud of them, so you know, that's what I'm probably going to do. Also going to probably create some new shows, different takes on things. It's always good to create something fresh, something brand new, to show your subscribers. If anybody has any suggestions, it's below. And pretty much, I mean, that's it. With over 605,000 views, and, you know, now we got 962 subscribers, I believe. The channel is been around for a while, and it's going to continue to grow. And that's what I'm hoping on, that it just continues to grow and survive and evolve over the years and decades to come. You know, and I'll be here as long as, you know, I'm able to. Here. I don't see a time me leaving YouTube at all, but that may happen eventually. I don't think so, but you never know what God has in store. But I do know that I have fun on here, and when it's not fun, that's when I don't do it anymore. It's great to have people that have different opinions than you to come on here and enlighten you with their ideas and their visions of things, and kind of change your opinion of things as well. I mean, recently, you know, I was kind of like upset with the Doctor Who Christmas special, but hearing like Connor Farley's, you know, talking like very highly of it, and he's enthusiastic about it, it kind of got me into it too. I gotta say. So it's been very hard to do Real Whovians Cast without Doctor Who news, mostly for the year. I think this was the most secretive, and it's hard for people working on the show that there's no show the whole year, and they had to have jobs with class and all this other stuff. For me, it's like I feel bad for the other Whovians that they own websites on Doctor Who. They run Facebook pages. They run all kinds of social media on Doctor Who. And it's like, how could you do that if there's nothing to talk about Doctor Who? Like, no new news. I mean, yes, you could talk about classic series. You could talk about the episodes that have already aired over and over and over again. But to have something fresh to give to the fans, very hard. I hope now that things change with Doctor Who, where we have consistent seasons going forward without any breaks, without any cuts. Any seasons with Doctor Who that we should, I wish we had made up. And, you know, knowing that BBC is going through a lot, losing a lot of shows, I would hope that they would treat their flagship show with such royalty and gold that they make it like last for a long, long time beyond 2012, beyond 2020 commission. So I'm hopeful about Doctor Who just continuing. And I like Peter Capaldi as the Doctor, and I want him to continue to go on many years. Whether that happens or not remains to be seen. But the one thing about Doctor Who is, regardless of whether Peter Capaldi stays or not, it's always fresh when Doctor regenerates and you have a new companion, and the show is always new life into it. So, you know, even with the new showrunner, that's going to bring new life into it too, with Chris Chibnall. So I'm very excited about what he's going to bring to the table. I'm also very excited about what Stephen Moffat's going to bring to the table with this final season, this Christmas special coming up, and then his last Christmas special next year. So I do hope, because I know he never understood why Russell T Davies never came back to do an episode. And now that he's in a similar position, he doesn't want to either. I do hope that they both bend a little bit and just put out Doctor Who once in a while, like write an episode, because ultimately it's not that they're going backwards, it's that their love for Doctor Who continues. Hello, Connor.
Hello.
So welcome to the 4600th video and the 5-year anniversary of me making videos. So I was just rambling on about the channel, and I was talking about Doctor Who, and I was just saying how I hope that, I said that Stephen Moffat had always criticized Russell T Davis to come back and do an episode. What's the big deal? You don't have to be showrunner, you know?
Yeah.
And even in the magazine, he did that. And now that he's leaving,
the thing is that the difference between Moffat and RTD is that I've always felt Moffat's written more. He's done more with his ideas than, like, Russell T Davies wrote Doctor Who a bit like a drama rather than a sci-fi. And obviously it takes far less ideas to write a drama than it does a sci-fi. I think that, Moffat's just used his ideas up a lot more than Russell has. So that's why there was probably a possibility that Russell could come back, whereas Moffat's just doesn't have anywhere else to go with Doctor Who, even in writing on like a freelance sort of one episode capacity.
But, you know, staying away from it for a while, taking a vacation from it for a while, a break, gives you a lot new perspective and gives you inspiration to write fresh. And I always feel, you know, that there could come a time, and really you shouldn't close the door completely, where if he gets this brilliant idea and he wants to do a story, let him do a single story. I mean, I think by him not doing it, go thing, that, oh, I'm a showrunner and now I got to load myself and write an episode. Well, you were always a writer before you were a showrunner. So I personally think that he would be a better man to just write an episode once in a while. I'm not saying he has to do it all the time, but in Chibnall's run, I would say in Series 11, write one episode, you know, and then not write for a couple years, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I feel that way because there's no ego, there's no rules. I mean, if you love the show that much, even though maybe you're exhausted and you're spent, you take a little break and then you come back and write one episode. Big deal. What's going to be the harm in doing that?
Yeah.
I don't see a harm. In fact, maybe it would be, being that he would be under someone else, it might be even more fantastic than when he was with showrunner, like he used to be.
Well, there's no pressure with like writing one episode like that because he doesn't have to rewrite it. Well, he does have to rewrite it, but he doesn't have to do what Russell had to do and what he had to do when he was showrunner, where he has to go through every script and he has to write things in that he thinks will fit the vision of the show at the time for that series. Because I don't know if you've read that book that Russell T Davies wrote, The Writer's Tale.
No, go ahead.
He talks about how he's got a pile of scripts and some like need the minest of work, like minute sort of details that need changing. But a whole entire script, like Fires of Pompeii, needed rewriting from pages 1 to 70 or whatever, completely, because it was good, but it just did not fit in with what they were going for with Series 4. So it's really a lot. So really, you're writing all 12, 13 episodes.
Right. So with him doing one episode, it wouldn't even...
It
would be fine.
I wouldn't even scratch the surface of pressure for him.
I really hope that, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, we could be talking about Doctor Who, that it's still on the air. I mean, I know it's been commissioned till 2020, that it gets to a point where they just, extend it to 2030 or whatever. Like a safeguard, because besides my kids getting into it, is to get into it when the time comes, just carry it on down the line. It's such a great show that it always is fresh, and I don't think it should ever be off the air. But of course, there may come a time where it may happen again, where it takes a break. you know, and some people think that that's a good idea. Me, I don't. I already went through the cancellation once, and I think that's, or if you count it twice, because they tried to bring Paul McGann back. But I would just rather it stay on the air and just have fresh, you know, writers and stuff.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I mean, I think that a movie could be done while the show is on. I mean, the way I would handle a movie is that, you know, there's a lot of adventures we've never seen with Tennant and Matt Smith. And why not, like, just do a movie based on that? You know, and then you'd be like, oh, okay. You can even do a Time War movie or something, you know? And just, it wouldn't really interfere with the show. But to do a movie with a brand new Doctor, I would say absolutely not.
Yeah.
It would probably want to do that. I would say no. I would say it would have to be respectful to the show, and it would have to be connected to the show. Even if you do a movie where, like, you know, John Sim goes back to Gallifrey, there's a whole thing, regenerates into Missy, and whatever, like stuff you've never seen. They get out of the pocket universe or whatever. I mean, explain it that way. Use a movie to explain plot holes. I'm fine with that too.
Yeah.
Because maybe that's what we need if Moffat doesn't answer anything. You know, and he never said he wouldn't do a movie, but he said he wouldn't return to the TV show.
I just don't
So
think,
that could be a thing.
I just don't think it fits movie. It just doesn't. It's a TV show. You know, it's
Yeah.
it just I don't think it translates well. Yeah, about Moffat explaining things. He can't explain everything that he's done because it's too much.
Right.
The list is so long that he can't.
I mean, do you think he knows what the hell he did? Or in some cases, he just doesn't know. He just, oh, yeah, I kind of screwed up there.
I think he's just hoping he can write a Doctor Who story that blows your mind, that it's so weird and so out there that it, like, you almost don't want it to be explained, or you don't care about it being explained. And I think he always constantly hopes that's the case, so that
Right.
he doesn't.
Hey.
He doesn't have to go back and do the legwork of explaining everything that he's ever done. The issue with that is that because there are no explanations, it doesn't feel like it's real in a way. You know.
But he's the only that you could probably write a whole book on stuff he didn't explain in Doctor Who.
Are we talking about Moffat?
And people are genuinely upset by it. Like, they want an explanation.
Well,
They don't want, like, a sentence like they did in, you know, Time of the Doctor.
Yeah.
In 2 sentences.
To go back to the point I said earlier about the differences between Russell T Davies era and Moffat's. I think the reason why Russell T Davies managed to explain almost everything is because he wrote it like a drama, so it was more real life. Moffat's Doctor Who feels more spacey and more alien and more like a Star Wars sort of thing, a Star Wars sort of Doctor Who than, like, Russell T Davies' Doctor Who is EastEnders as Doctor Who. You know, Moffat's is Star Wars as Doctor Who sort of thing. That's the sort
I think Star Wars is even, it's like an insult to say Star Wars, because with Moffat, it's, well, maybe like the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Well, yeah, I don't mean about the.
I mean,
I wouldn't say it's spacey. I would say it's more time. Like, what's that thing you always say? It reminds you of, like, he stole it from that parody version of Doctor Who they did, where they travel around and they go back.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Pretty much Bill and Ted. That's what it reminds me of, his era. Like, that's what I would say.
He took all the time rules from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which was a parody of Doctor Who in itself, and he basically copied that into.
I think if you look at Russell T Davies' era and then you look at Moffat's, I think the main difference is there's a lot more time. Like, time's focused on a lot more heavily.
It feels a lot more sci-fi with Moffat than it did with Russell.
I I'm not sure. Like I think Russell had his share fair of sci-fi. I think it was just a more casual viewer sci-fi than Moffat's a bit more just like he's not really for the.
I think Moffat's like fantasy.
Yeah, Moffat's
like,
heavy fantasy sci-fi.
But it's kind of like fantasy in a sense it's unbelievable after times.
Yeah, there are some.
The moon being an egg. I mean, some of the stuff has been so ridiculous that and even when people die, they come back like 10 times.
That
drama.
Really, I can't think of anyone who's died that hasn't come back or hasn't properly died.
I mean, Russell T Davies, like you said, it's drama. Then it's more serious. But Moffat's, it's like if like Clara died, she'll be back like 5 more times. So, it's like
if
even
you think
when they killed her.
Yeah, if you think about it, that whole entire joke about no one dies anymore is a sci-fi concept because in the real world you can't come back after you die,
right?
And in Doctor Who you can. So that in itself is a more sci-fi concept than maybe Russell T Davies would have played around with. So
we joke around with Moffat too that he copies off of things, he watches movies and he implements them in Doctor Who. Russell T Davies did that too. I mean, he took the whole burning of the Time Lord, like when Luke burned Darth Vader. He liked that, so he's like, all right, the Time Lords need to be burned so that way nobody can take their DNA and different things. And also from Star Trek, he did the Vulcan mind meld to do it to go into their thoughts. So, but with Moffat seems like there's so many things that you see taken from other stuff that after a while you want original stuff. You don't want. I mean, Moffat has copied off of people's own episodes with Hyde, where I think that's where the problem is with the burnout. What to write about? So the guy wrote Hyde, which was with the Warners and the time traveler that was actually their daughter, but was trapped in time, and then he adapts it for, I guess, Listen. And Danny Pink's the first time traveler. Like it's like, many times stuff has been copied. Is a good thing, so we can get a fresh perspective.
I think Chibnall is more of he's got more of an original take than Moffat has. Even
no, sorry, go on. There's a bit of a delay. I thought you stopped.
Oh, right, okay. I was just saying that Chibnall has more of an original take than Moffat does.
No, I agree. I've been saying since Series 5, Moffat should go, and I can't wait. Hopefully, I've got a lot of friends who used to be fans that have stopped watching and they refuse to watch until Moffat leaves, so I'm hoping it will bring people back. I hope that Chibnall goes for a more Russell T Davies approach. I'm not saying he should copy him, but I want some familiar. I can't say it.
Familiarity.
Yeah, I want it because with Russell T Davies' era, there was no gaps, there was no splits. There was the specials, but that was it. And you had the same format. You'd have episode 4 and 5 would be a 2-part, 5 and 6, and the finale. We don't have that anymore, and it's just every year something different, and it's too much. And I don't know. I haven't really enjoyed the show since 2010. However, when Capaldi came along, I think it's been a massive step up, but it's really sad to see him kind of having to go along with the shit he's given. For example, this year's Christmas special, superheroes and stuff. That should have been for Matt Smith, not for Capaldi. He should be doing something more suited to his Doctor.
Yeah,
and I think it's such a shame that he's going to have Nardo as a companion. And if he does leave next year, I wouldn't blame him. I don't want him to leave at all. But I just feel really bad if he does, because then he's only had 2 companions. Clara's dominated the series, if not the second as well. She became more of the Doctor than he was, and it's just sad, in my opinion.
I mean, we had an opportunity before the flood under the lake, whatever, where he could have had 2 other companions, and pulled one of them off, with the Fisher King.
Clara should have left in Death in Heaven. That should have been it.
Right.
In my opinion, I think it would have. You needed something new for Series 9.
Yeah.
I think it would have been. had like a David Tennant scenario where he had more than one companion. Like each series, he had a different companion.
I mean, I would be okay with him having as many companions as Peter Davison did at one point, because I did like that, like all of them in the TARDIS, like just like David Tennant when he had that in Journey's End. And the TARDIS at once, it would be nice, you know. But even if not, I mean, Capaldi, he should have some companions where they're with him maybe half a year. Doesn't have to be, I mean, like, why is there a rule they have to be the whole entire season? You know, there's no rules. So, I mean, Capaldi could have had many companions. And if they did do that Christmas special with the superhero with Matt Smith, I fully expect that him as the Doctor would have done something to have superpowers too, and like have fun with it, like ridiculously. You know, because I see Matt Smith doing that, like flying around, or you know. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I guess the tone of Series 10 is, or not really. We don't know.
It'll be lighter because
Yeah,
the last 2 years haven't been as well received.
but then saying that, they've said episode 4, the Haunted Hub's supposed to be really scary, and then episode 5 is supposed to be really scary as well. So I don't know.
That haunted thing, is that supposed to be like the Weeping Angel house?
No, that's like the giant woodlouse.
Yeah, that's the giant woodlice under the floorboards in the Weeping Angel Blink house.
I don't think angels are going to be in Series 10. I really don't. I think they might. If they do, I reckon.
Are you on your phone or Are you on your phone or your computer?
My laptop.
Oh, your laptop. Okay.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, so that episode is going to have the alien woodlice and the Weeping Angels.
No Weeping.
Or no?
It's just in the same house.
I don't think
Okay.
the angels because they're in class now. I don't think they're going to touch on them.
Are we going to have class members in Doctor Who Series 10? Like, are they going to continue class that way?
Fuck no.
What if it gets canceled? They would have to appear in Doctor Who, no?
I don't
What
want
if they're the companions? What if they're the freaking companions?
So that Faddy, whatever his name is, he on his CV it says that he's going to appear in an upcoming episode of Doctor Who. So
Who?
Ram could appear.
Ram's going to appear on in a TARDIS?
Well, apparently he's in an episode of Series 10. Like, it's on his CV.
Oh. No. You can have the whole Coal Hill School in that TARDIS. They already had that already.
If class is cancelled, I reckon they do what they did with the X-Files spin-off. When that got cancelled, they had like an episode in one of the X-Files series, just to like resolve the plot. And I reckon they do that with Doctor Who. They just like an episode in Series 11 where they just like sort out the Weeping Angel thing, and that's the end of class. But I think class is going to get.
You really both use. There's a delay, I guess.
No, I was going to say I think we're going to get a second series for class.
Okay. So you guys would really have a problem with like Ram and April, like them basically being in the, not I'm gonna say that all the members of class, but like a few of them, being companions.
I would have a problem if they were full-time companions. If they were full-time, I wouldn't mind if they're in it for like an episode. If class was cancelled, to just resolve class. But
okay,
if it was like Miss Quill as a companion, I'd be cool with that. I'd be very happy with that.
What about you, Connor?
Yeah, I'd have a massive problem because apart from Tanya and Miss Quill, they're all shit characters.
I don't want Charlie and Mateus around the TARDIS. That would be.
Nah, I don't really care about that. But,
And then,
all right.
And then April in her Shadowkin body having sex with Ram in front of Nardo or something.
That's just.
It's so dumb.
Well, what about Torchwood? What about Torchwood? Miss Quill and Torchwood? No.
It won't happen.
That won't happen.
No. So you think Patrick Ness basically he's not saying anything, but he got the okay, class season 2. That's it.
I think so.
You think so?
Yeah.
Did the Weeping Angel cause that
Probably.
to happen? Because if that didn't happen, there probably wouldn't be another season, correct?
They've got loads of merchandise coming out. They're releasing class figures and posters and stuff. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are they really?
Yeah, Faddy put.
Because I haven't seen anything of that. Really? Where can I find that? Because
they haven't
doesn't even know they exist.
They haven't been released yet, but they're coming out after Christmas apparently.
Who doesn't even know that? It's how hard it is to look up class on Google.
They've only just apparently gone in for the photo shoots to get their figures done and the posters and books and magazines.
You're right.
I'm not
You're right, bro. You are joking.
I'm not going to it. I'll
link that puppy.
No, I
screenshot that puppy right now.
I can say that I did see a tweet a couple of months before class came out saying that they are doing action figures.
Really?
Yeah.
So what happens with Ram's action figure? You rip his leg off and put like a TARDIS leg on there?
They'll probably do one where it's normal leg and mechanical leg or whatever it is.
Is that how the doctor is going to contact Ram? He's going to call him on his leg because it's connected to the TARDIS. So like his leg is going to start glowing and beeping.
They do the same with Quill. A Quill head that you can take off where she's got the scar, and then one that she doesn't.
You're going to open up her head like a Dalek, and you're going to pull the friggin' Orin out of there, and the Orin's going to be like moving around and stuff. Yeah, I could imagine that happening. Maybe in another century, but yeah. Class casts. That went well. On another note, being out, this is not just about Doctor Who. I did make a mistake because we didn't do all the podcasts yesterday. We did not do Prime Evil casts, which will be coming very soon. We will be doing casts for every episode of Prime Evil, and we will anniversary huge. And if anybody that started Prime Evil would like to come on the Prime Evil cast, they're more than welcome. Me and Louis co-host that, so that's going to be good, and hopefully we can get another season out of it. If they do decide to do something for an anniversary or whatever. But if not, at least that podcast is continuing. Yes. Happy anniversary!
So sorry, I was just typing up. No, but yeah, there's few requests for you to return to your Prime Evil cast.
Yes, I shall return to my Prime Evil casts. Don't worry.
Someone messaged me last Tuesday saying for episode 3 of season 3 they want us to do a live reaction to get your reaction because there's a plot twist.
Oh.
I wonder what that is.
Yeah, all right. We will do that. Now, isn't there a Prime Evil movie, but it's not related to the show?
No, there is. It's Warner Brothers bought the rights to it 2 years ago, I think it was, and it's in development. But but
not any of the original characters.
They've said that they want to hire, recast all the cast, but it might.
Oh.
We'll have to see.
What, Prime Evil was that popular?
Yeah.
To me, it feels like a show that is beyond revival. Like you can't.
You said that to me yesterday, but what if Moffat did that? I know Louis would flip out if Moffat took over Prime Evil.
I would seriously just kill my. No, I would complain so much, but they revived it once and it did well with ratings. Just apparently it was so expensive to produce because the amount of CGI and stuff. But
yeah, but they lost Top Gear. They lost the Bake Off. Where's the money? Throw it there.
What wasn't Prime Evil ITV?
What do you?
It was ITV, but then it was on BBC America, so
yeah,
it's a mixture of everything.
Next question: how many shows could the BBC lose before the BBC could go under? I mean, how does that work? I mean, if they lose every show they have,
okay, it was cut in 2009 with like a massive. They culled a load of shows like Heartbeat and. I don't know if Connor knows about Heartbeat, if you've heard of it, and shows like that. Then it came back in 2011 and 12 and 13 because it was rebooted. Kind of soft revival.
What about like the Top Gear is the Grand Tour? How is that, Connor?
That's the most illegally downloaded show in the UK. this year. So
Wow.
if that gives you an indication of how good it is, then there you go.
And they really don't care to BBC that they screwed up that big.
Well,
Right.
it's that big that last year that very sort of accolade of most downloaded legally show was Game of Thrones.
Right. Wow.
So,
Okay. Which I can't wait for that to come back.
yeah, that'll be very soon.
Tonight we got the mid-season finale of The Walking Dead, and we also got the finale of Ash versus Evil Dead.
I don't
So two
that,
shows.
so completely irrelevant.
Two shows going off, and then hopefully we'll have some shows to replace those soon. I think we got Supergirl coming back in January, and back like Arrow and Flash, and then Legends tomorrow, and then we also got Bates Motel. I don't know if you guys are into that. That's coming back for the final season, I think in March. American Horror Story is going to have a cruise thing. That's big. Westworld won't come back to 2018, right, Connor?
No, that's come back in 2018, yeah.
And
What is
Stranger Things, when does that come back?
Next year, probably about June, July time.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Which, that guy can't. That sucks. So. All right. And of course, I'll try to do some comic book podcasts too in the coming year. And, you know, because I haven't really done that too much. Channel. So we'll have some new shows, new people. So it's going to be a blast. So thank you guys for being with me for the 4600 video on the 5-year anniversary of making videos. Appreciate it.
Congratulations, happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Sir. Thank you, Connor. All right, guys. Take care. Bye for now.